Hello everybody, welcome back to ACVC Discussion and Development. I'm your host DCWF. So, I decided I actually enjoyed doing the last video of, Darth Vader versus Batman. Okay? And, like I said on that video, I've watched the Danco channel for a while, and so I'm pulled up another one of the videos. I guess you could say these are almost reactions, I guess, but they're not. Either way, so today I'm going to try and go a little bit quicker. I'm not really going to play the video too much. If I do, it'll be just so you can see a picture of, like, Batman right here and Wolverine. But besides that, I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to have any volume on this time for his video because, well, one, I don't really want him to get aggravated. You want to go see these videos, you need to go to his channel and watch them, which I am going to put links to the videos in my video. So, either way, if you want to look at his video, don't worry, there'll be a link in mine to go to it. Or you'll be able to even, because you'll see the name, you can even type it in and go straight to it. So, if you've watched the prior video of Darth Vader versus Batman, you're going to see that I have a little bit of a different take on how you do the verses. So, this is my take. As I go along, I'm going to keep refining how I do this. If I do more videos like this, then I'll continue to refine it. So, first off, let's start with it like this. Okay, I'm not going to turn around and talk about their specific skill sets so in depth, or their weaponry or anything else. I'm going to turn around and say this is going to be a pretty quick fight, I think. So let's just go ahead and dive into it. Let's get started. So you have, and if you watch the other one, like I said, you see that I kind of did it like Marvel's universe, DC universe, or like how the last video was Star Wars and DC. And that I believe that the realities in which they're in will actually affect the processes of their fighting, and will affect how they fight, when they fight, where they fight. In other words, who will win. It'll turn out and affect who will win. Maybe not always, though. And I'm going to go ahead and go with this. I'm thinking leaning in towards this one right here, Batman versus Wolverine. I am going to say I don't really know that reality would affect it so much. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm not going to ramble on too much about that. Okay. Hope y'all can hear me. Yeah, I think I've already said that. So, here we go. Okay, so actually what it is this. So, Batman versus Wolverine. Who would win? Oh wait, that's his line. Okay, no. Guess you could say I'm procrastinating saying. So, either way, let's go with this. So, Wolverine. So, if Batman and Wolverine meet up straight up fight, Wolverine will come out on top. I'm just pretty sure he would. His healing factor, Batman wouldn't be expecting it. Now, there is one difference I would go with on this fight. Unlike the fight with Darth Vader and Batman, both of them are supposed to be heroes. Or, well, I guess Wolverine, I believe that some classify him as an anti-hero, so. But, if Wolverine just fought Batman, and they just came across one another, I don't think Wolverine would be trying to kill Batman. And I'm pretty sure Batman would just be looking to turn and do what he normally does, which is to basically knock him out, is what he would be trying to do. So, an initial confrontation like that, they would they wouldn't turn and go all out with one another. Batman would probably start going further out against Wolverine than Wolverine would against him. So, but yeah, Wolverine would probably come out on top. But I think we're going to try to make this fight a little bit more, I don't know, I wouldn't call it, it's kind of hard to make it a fair and an evenly matched fight. But let's go with it like this. So, Wolverine is not going to turn around, I think initially in a regular fight, Wolverine's not going to turn around and just go all out on Batman. So to try and make it where he would, we'll have to go with it like this. Wolverine, like, just escaping the Weapon X program, or while he's under the influence of the mind control from that, we could go with that. And let's say we would do that one. An all-out Wolverine like that. Batman would definitely lose. In a straight-up confrontation there. So, let's just go with it like this. Okay, so, and I know I've repeated myself a couple times. I don't plan these videos out, so as far as I plan them out, but I don't try to write down what all I'm going to say in the video. If anybody's wondering why I sound like I ramble on, it's because I just don't make a script for doing these videos, because I feel like you lose something when you do that sometimes. Not everybody, but I feel like I do. I feel like I lose some of the naturalness of doing the video if I try to script this. So, Wolverine is going to, let's just go to what I said. If you want to see anything about their weaponry or how their fighting skills and so on and so forth, you need to go watch Danco or even one of the other people's videos. I like the Danco videos probably the best out of the ones I've seen. So we're going to do this. You got the Marvel's reality and you got a DC reality. Marvel's reality, if Batman were to drop into the Marvel's reality, and like I did on the last video, we give him a little bit of time before fighting. Okay? We give a little bit of time before fighting. We're just going to automatically say it this way. If the Wolverine, we're going to start with Wolverine first. Sorry, my fault, I should have done this part first. I already kind of said this though. So, Wolverine, we're going to try and say it's the version of Wolverine that's pretty much out of his mind. He's not in control. He just escaped the Weapon X program, or even Weapon X program just sent him after Batman. Okay, so he got transported to the DC universe. Nothing was going to affect Wolverine so much in the DC universe as far as that goes. If it was a straight up fight, Wolverine will win. Hands down, Batman won't even get a chance to really do anything. He will block a few times, but Batman's suit is not going to be designed to go up against Wolverine's adamantium claws at that moment in time. Batman will put up a fight, he will lose. Because Batman's not going to try and go straight into... He will find out about his healing factor and will let loose more, but probably by the time he got to doing that, Wolverine will have won. So I'm actually going to focus more on this one as if you went to the Marvel's side of the universe and you had a little bit of a prep time, because if you did DC, just transported there, even if Batman had a little bit of prep time there, he's going to have a harder time. The only advantages he could have there would be like if he got Martian Manhunter or something, or one of those kind of characters to help him to get through Wolverine. He wouldn't win, and I don't even think Superman's Kryptonian skin would actually hold up to adamantium. So, and that's because I have seen where they showed that even Superman's skin could be pierced by certain kinds of metals. So we're going to go with adamantium. He probably wouldn't hold up to that. So, yeah, okay. Let's go into the Marvel side, though, with a little bit of prep time. Okay, Wolverine will... they're wanting to send Wolverine after Batman, but Batman has just a little bit of prep time. I mean, not very long. And I call it prep time, but it's more like he's just got to get his balance. It's not really prep time. So he'll have a little bit of time to get the feel of the area in which he got transported to. I'm going to still say Wolverine would win unless he really did have like 2 or 3 weeks and he found out everything he needed to know about Wolverine. And I think Batman would turn around and, he would discover about vibranium, he would discover about adamantium. He would probably look at trying to find some of the materials, helping make some equipment and gear for himself that would give him the ability to fight up against Wolverine. Now, I'm going to add one other thing that might be a little controversial towards fans of Batman, or any fans, period. I actually think that, unlike the DC universe, Batman stayed away from a lot of the serums and stuff in the DC universe, because a lot of them turn around and had a 100% guarantee that you lose your mind, stuff like that, for like Bane, how it made Bane sick and all. The Venom did from Bane. But I have to go with, if Batman was in the Marvel's universe, he might actually try to find the super soldier serum. If he had to go fight up against Wolverine, there'd be a really good chance that Batman would go straight to Stark Towers or wherever, and he would probably look for weapons that would give him the ability to fight up against Wolverine. Batman's not stupid. He wouldn't just, if he had time to find out a little bit and realize that he had to fight Wolverine, he is not going to rely on just the stuff that he's already made in the DC universe, because he would automatically know, I'm in an alternate reality. It's not going to work. Okay? Now, this is my versions, like I said, this is my versions of verses. I'm going to say Wolverine will win in a straight-up fight against Batman. And I think most people are going to agree with that. Wolverine will beat Batman. And I know that that's an awful thing for all the Batman fans to hear, but it is the truth. I think Wolverine would beat Batman pretty much in most scenarios of a regular fight, if you did not cover anything about realities. I think if he goes to DC's universe, I think he'd still beat Batman. But I think that would come down to if there was prep time, if there was enough time to call in like Martian Manhunter or one of them, or someone who had those kind of powers, they might help him stand a chance against Wolverine. But there's not too many metals in the DC universe that I think would hold up to the adamantium. And I don't even really know that there's too many healing factors in the DC universe that equals quite as much as Wolverine's does. So, yeah, I think Wolverine would definitely have an upper hand if he came to the DC universe. I think if Batman went to the Marvel's universe, I think with a little bit of time, Batman might actually would have a fighting chance. I don't know that he'd win, but I do think he'd have a fighting chance against Wolverine then, with a little bit of time. Now, I know everybody talks about the prep time and, being like, but I think reasonably with 2 weeks, if Batman had an idea of what Wolverine's fighting style was, how Wolverine would do, Batman with 2 weeks worth of time, he probably would come up with something. But when you read a comic or when you watch TV, I am trying to be a little bit realistic here. It wouldn't, Batman's very intelligent, and he could do things a lot faster than some people could. And he would definitely be able to come up with stuff faster. And he could make things a little bit faster than probably a regular person would. And I'll give him that. But even, I think it would take him like a month to actually design enough stuff to actually be able to take out Wolverine. He just wouldn't turn out and successfully be able to defeat Wolverine right off. But, like I said, if he went to the Marvel's universe, I think that, I think Batman, if he went to the Marvel's universe, he would have a fighting chance. DC universe, I don't believe he would, but Marvel's universe, I think he'd have a fighting chance, because he would probably find weaponry and all kinds of stuff that he could use against Wolverine, as long as he had enough time to do it. But like I said, this is also Wolverine who, yeah, has full access to all of his abilities, but also would be under mind control. I think if you don't have him under a form of mind control, Wolverine would fight Batman, Batman would fight Wolverine. Yes, Wolverine would most likely win, but at the same time, they probably come to a stop because Wolverine will go all out, but different timelines where we do different ways. If it was before the Weapon X program, he wouldn't have the adamantium claws. If it were way after the Weapon X program, he would probably, you know, be less likely to turn around and try to kill Batman anyway. So, we'll just turn around and put it like I put it. I think Wolverine would definitely beat Batman under most circumstances. And if we did a middle reality where they basically both got thrown in, and it was just balanced out like I did with the Darth Vader Batman, there's nothing that would turn around and make it be any different. Wolverine would beat Batman. If Batman only had his equipment and gear and skills to rely on, and Wolverine had what he already had from all his years, with no additions, no anything that could change the fight at all, and Wolverine was under a form of mind control, yeah, from like the Weapon X program, Wolverine would win. So, I think we're going to stop there. I think that's what I'm going to go with, because I could go in more detail, but truthfully, there's no need to. So either way, I don't know what everybody else will agree, if everybody else would agree with my synopsis or my theory about how it would work if under different realities. But I will say that Batman would have a better fighting chance against Wolverine, and he could come on top, but I don't know if he would against Wolverine if the fight happened in the Marvel's universe. Also, if Batman had at least a week or 2 weeks worth of time to know that Wolverine was going to come after him. Straight up fight, Wolverine wins. A little bit of prep in the Marvel's universe where he can find out information about Wolverine. Yeah. DC universe prep time, he might, but it's going to be, I still think he would have a hard time because he won't have the same kind of information. He'll have fought people like Bane and all that, but it just won't have the same reaction. He'll turn around and he'll go with what he knows there, and he'll only have a limited amount of research on Wolverine. If he's in the Marvel's universe, he'll have access to more information about Wolverine, and he'll adjust to the information he finds. In the DC universe, too, even with 2 weeks, he'll have a little bit of information, but unless Wolverine goes up against a whole bunch of his villains or whatever before he gets to Batman, Batman's not going to find out that much about him. And we all know that, well, I won't go any further because who knows, I might make that a video. So I won't say anything right this second. Either way, I hope y'all have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, check out Danco's videos on his verses, his characters' verses. I really like him. I most of the time do agree with his what he thinks of who would win and lose. I'm not going to say I agree all the time. I don't believe anybody can agree all the time. But like I said, I'm not going to show any more of the video. I showed what little bit I'm going to show because these are his videos. He put all the work and effort into them, and I'm not trying to take away from his. I'm not even trying to actually, like, you know, climb over him with the work that he's already put into it. I'm doing my version. I think that realities with being in a different part of the reality would definitely cause a different scenario of who would win and lose. And I haven't seen too many people do videos like this, if any. I'm not even sure if I've come across these. kind. So that's why I wanted to do them. I thought it would be a nice, interesting video to turn around and do, and I kind of wanted to do a couple of these. So I think I have a few more in mind that I'm going to do. Got one more definitely that I'm probably going to show from where I at least bring up Danco's page, but I'm not going to sit here and not every single one of mine are going to be based 100%. Well, actually, what I'm doing isn't completely based off of these either. There are cool fights that everybody would love to have probably seen play out in an animated or a comic or something. So, either way, it's not like it's 100% actually. It's just something that, you know. Either way, there's no need for me to turn and ramble on any further. Like I said, feel free to like, subscribe to my video. Definitely, if you like these kind of videos, go to Danco. As far as, you know, if you like the little bit more details in like their fighting skills, their styles, go to his, because he goes into detail about that. I'm going into detail about I'm going on a whole different section of it. So, I hope y'all have yourselves a great day. And in all honesty, who knows, I may not actually turn around and come on to these pages too much more anyway. Because like I said, I'm not trying to get on his nerve or anything else, because he worked hard on these. And, you know, he deserves credit for the amount of time and effort he put into them. He did a really good job on them, so. And if he watches this, and like I say, hey, I do enjoy these videos. I like them. They're really cool. And, you know, hey, awesome that you got these 500 and something thousand subscribers. So, I hope y'all have a great day. Enjoy the video. And so long.